Adele Snapp fretted and quietly panicked. There was still such a lot to do to organise her husband's 60th birthday party. There were little things that needed finessing with the catering team. But Adele had been meticulous in her planning and was confident the party would go smoothly tonight. It had to be just right, because Adele liked things to be just right. Even though she'd failed to make her son right, he wasn't right at all, and she'd known early on, even when he'd been a toddler, that there was something most definitely very wrong with her child. She'd tried, really tried, and it had been hard to change him. At first, it had been impossible and frightening. Generally speaking, now that he was a grown man, she thought she'd achieved all that she could. She had reined him in, and he managed himself, with little reminders from her if and when necessary. This morning, Adele had stood outside the door to his self-contained flat upstairs, and heard him shouting at one of his dolls, had heard him throw the doll against the wall, and had listened as it shattered. She'd felt an all-too-familiar chill as she'd contemplated her son's rage and what he might one day do with it. Up until recently, Barney had been able to keep his fantasy doll world alive in an appropriate way, and had kept his brooding, always-there fury under wraps. As far as she knew, the dolls had always been an absorbing and good outlet for him, a safe outlet. Seemingly not anymore. Now that suppressed anger was leaking out. And she worried he was drifting out of her control, a ticking time bomb waiting to go boom, and that terrified her. Adele jumped as Barney appeared at her shoulder in the kitchen, catching her off guard. Looking up at her son, she gave him a smile that didn't seem to fit on her lips. Ignoring the uncomfortable sensation of the false expression, she said, "I popped up to your flat earlier. Was wondering if you wanted lunch down here with me." She waited a beat. "But you were busy with one of your dolls. You should have texted me. The answer would have been a resounding yes." He smiled at her, full of charm and gentleness, as she had taught him. Nodding, she kept the tight smile in place. "It's your father's 60th. You haven't forgotten, have you?" He laughed softly. "Course I haven't forgotten. Need any help? Just promise you'll be here this evening. Your father would be heartbroken if you didn't come." "I'm coming, Mum. Relax. 8 o'clock, do you?" "It does me.